Good morning, Rays. How is everybody doing? OKJ here. It's the end of the week, and we are upon the weekend once again, y'all. It just seems to always fly by. You know, when I was younger, I couldn't wait to grow up, and now I don't know. I mean, it seemed like forever back then, but now it's like a blur. So anyway, good morning, Jill Schneider, Elba Lopez, Sam Willow. Good morning to y'all. How are you doing this morning or today or this evening? I live for now. I live for now. There you go. All right. Uh, y'all, did y'all see that picture I put on the community wall of Tim Ferritter's woman there? I thought that was a pretty good screenshot for OKJ to make. You know, we knew Timmy Boy there wasn't going to give much emotion or act like anything like that, but she sure as hell did, because she knows that she is going to get hers if she doesn't iron out a plea deal. Maybe she'll learn a lesson about her husband turning down 2 years and 5 years of probation. And someone asked me in the comments what I thought, and I thought, well, 4 to 7 years. I said he was facing 30 years, but as I re-looked at it, I think it's 40 years total. But I think the judge is going to probably give him 4 to 7 years. In that around kind of the time there that they put that precious child in a box for all that time? Y'all got to remember, Timothy Ferritter has not got a criminal record. And yes, what he's been convicted of is very serious. But I don't see him doing anything, if I really have to ballpark it, no more than 10 years. But I'm looking at around the 4 and 7 year mark there. Good morning, Ann Gibson, Peg Gilkerson, Mickey Kiker, Teresa, Emmy Lou, Stephanie Willow, Chris Arnett, Michelle Flanagan. How y'all doing? I hope all of y'all have some wonderful, wonderful plans for the weekend, if for nothing else, just to get outside for a little bit and breathe in some fresh air and get a little natural lithium from the sun. Y'all remember Saturday, there's supposed to be this eclipse thing where there's supposed to be this ring around it. I don't know in my hemisphere whether I'm going to be able to see it, but they say out west Saturday, so you can look that up. Hi, Kathy Mama Bear. Hi, love is a 4-letter word. Teresa says it's raining in Illinois. So, yeah, Timmy Boy, he, I got to thinking about all that, y'all, and I thought, why would he turn down that plea agreement, and what was his attorneys thinking during all this? Well, first of all, let me give a theory here. I think Timothy Ferritter probably met with different attorneys and wanted someone that would line up to his bullshit about he thought he was doing the right thing. He got with these 2 attorneys on this case, and they told him everything he wanted to hear. Y'all, I don't think it's all about getting attorneys' fees, but you got to consider that as well. And he wanted a defense that would line up with his own messed up mind about what he did to his son. That's a good theory, right? Now, I guess the question is his wife, is her defense, if she goes to trial, she might iron out a plea agreement, y'all. I think she sees the writing on the wall, but say she goes, just for sake of argument, that she's going to go to trial on this. You think maybe she's going to say, I just was listening to my husband. I just did what Timothy wanted me to do. He's the man of the house. And I just have no culpability in any of this. I was just supporting my husband. Give me a break. Give me a break. Sam Willis says it's amazing how a lot of these abusers skate legally. Well, I was so very, uh, I don't know, y'all. I was relieved in a lot of ways because you got to look at the whole picture. Obviously, the centerpiece there is that these parents did the wrong thing. They had malice in their whole ordeal. There ain't any testimony whatsoever that these parents ever did this to the other children. So what is it? Because there's no evidence the other children never did a thing wrong? No, they were disciplined in a different way. They probably got their cell phone taken away. And y'all, this whole thing about RAD, this reactive attachment disorder, or this very serious case of PTSD, and the fact that, he was a baby over there in another country and was treated wrong and all that, that is not even something that should be considered when it comes to child abuse. There is no defense in that. There should be this is our defense because the child was acting like this or behaving like this. Folks, it didn't make a damn bit of difference. That's not an affirmative defense. And they want to bring up a parental affirmative defense. That wasn't proven. Not whatsoever. And you know what really I think they should have brought out? The state, they brought it out, but they didn't emphasize it. Is that these parents, they lied about what the room was about. They've got Timothy Ferreter saying, if you're going to go dump your bathroom bucket there, don't let the neighbors see it. They should have brought that out more in terms of mens rea, to show that Timothy Ferreter and his damn hussy wife, they knew what they were doing was wrong. They weren't open to showing people, hey, we've got to put a lock on the outside of this door. And we've got to turn the lights off on him. And any time that anyone went in there, that bucket wasn't in there when visitors or anything like that. And then the defense wants to bring out, well, they hired a contractor. You think maybe perhaps the contractor didn't give a rat's ass what he was going to build it for? That maybe he didn't get a real explanation for it? Even if he did, they're not going to say, yeah, we're building this box so we can be abusive to our son. That contractor was in there to build that 8x8 and get his money and go. Pure and simple. Good morning, Grammy B. Good morning, Eric Jasper. Good morning, Donna Donald. Good morning, JoJo. Well, I'm so excited you're here, JoJo. Good morning, says JoJo to everyone. So, I mean, the bottom line is Timothy Ferreter has a sentencing hearing coming up. What will that entail? Well, you can be sure there are going to be people that's going to come in there and they're going to say Timothy Ferreter's a good old guy. He loved his family. He was a good this and good that. What I would like to see, and I doubt it'll happen, but what I would like to see is that young man come in there. You know what? In some ways, I think he would come in there and ask the judge to go lenient on his father. But isn't that just how it ends up anyway? A child who's been abused like that is going to say, just as he did in his testimony, he said they just made a mistake. But I still would like to hear from him. He's the victim. He's 16 now? 16 years old? He's already testified, would he? Would the sister who testified against her father, would she come in there? I mean, because folks, the bottom line is whether Timothy Ferreter and his wife trained all the other children to believe this was okay to do to their brother, now they know the situation, and this has got to be traumatic for them. And, my prayers go out to this young man and the other siblings. that, because they've been taken away from the parents there. And it's a sad reality, but when you damn do this kind of shit, what did Timothy Ferritter think was going to happen? I mean, really? Did he really think he was going to leave yesterday? Oh, yeah, the defense said, yeah, well, let's not remand him right now, Judge. Let's wait till the sentence and let him stay out a little longer. Y'all, that was that's aggravated child abuse. And the judge, I thought, did a pretty excellent job. There were a few hiccups in all of this, especially during deliberations. But it wasn't, all they had to do was give that instruction to the jury members and I think the defense did that on purpose. They included the long clip of evidence that had been admitted that was a short clip, and then they included the whole long clip. Y'all, the judge was not happy with that. And I think the defense wants to use that for an appeal thing. That's what I think, but I don't think it's going to fly. They were given an instruction. The jury was during the deliberations. Everything's fine, and they scorched his ass. Yeah, Ann Gibson, Timothy Ferritter's going to know what it's like to be in an 8x8. I'm assuming it's going to be 8x8 or somewhere along those lines as far as a jail cell. But you know what? Even when it's lights out overnight in a jail system, in a prison, they have the ambient light in the background so that the other correctional officers they're not walking around in the dark. So Timothy Ferritter is going to not ever know what it's like to sit in solitary confinement in a dark-ass room. And it's going to be, whether inmates want to bitch and complain or not, there's going to be a constant temperature in there. And Timothy Ferritter obviously is not going to have control over an air conditioning unit. But then again, he's going to get his 3 meals a day. He's going to have his own little toilet hanging out of the wall, y'all. He's not going to have to shit or piss in a bucket. Timothy Ferritter, at some point, while he's doing his jail time, he's going to be able to interact with the correctional officers and possibly the other inmates. Obviously, the other inmates, when they get wind of Timothy Ferritter doing this to a child, it's not going to be fun for Timmy boy there. But the bottom line is even in a jail cell, Timothy Ferritter will have it better than what he gave his own child. Eric Jasper says, but did you see the look on his wife's face? I said in your comments last night, picture's worth 1,000 words. They should have taken the deal. Well, they thought they could beat it. And the big picture is this. It cannot have been that the jurors were not thinking about this, at least briefly. I know they had to focus on the evidence. We're talking about common sense, which can be used. If they were to say not guilty, would this have opened the door for other people, because of precedent, that it's okay to build an 8x8 room in your garage and do the shit that Timothy Ferritter and his wife did? I think it sends a clear and precise message that you don't do this kind of stuff to children. And it ain't like they didn't have a choice. We all know this. If they knew enough at one point in the past to send him to a psychiatrist or put him in yoga or whatever, or whatever they were trying to do, which the defense brought out, they took him to 2 or 3 therapy sessions, 30 minutes long. Well, they knew something was wrong back then. Then it should have been continuous. But you know what I think? This is just theory. They didn't want to face the idea that they had to go and really send this child to therapy, that they would have to take him there, they would have to themselves do group therapy as a family. They didn't want the headache of that. They were too busy shining a light on the other children and their band practices and all this other stuff. They wanted to do what they wanted to do to make themselves look good in terms of showcasing their children. And if one of them wasn't being what they wanted him to be, they put his ass in a box in a garage. Pure and simple. I can't understand how they thought by segregating their son away from the rest of the family that would help. I'm sure this would cause more problems for the boys, says Ann Gibson. And it did. I mean, obviously, anyone with common sense, when that young man went into his sister's classroom when he was, 10 or 11 years old, and called her a liar in front of everybody and made her cry, obviously, y'all, he had to have known in his heart that she was getting better treatment than him. And in his own way, like a child would do, this sibling stuff became very toxic because he knew that his siblings were being treated better than him. And y'all, this all lines up with the birth of that youngest child, that little boy, the youngest biological child of Timothy and his wife there. When they got him, their whole idea of having a son with Ronan there went out the window, and they put his ass in a box. And they focused on their beautiful little baby boy, forgetting that Ronan needed the help he needed. The Journey to Justice says, yep, children know. Teresa says when you take a child to therapy, it involves parents to work on parenting skills also. They didn't want to put in the work. You're right, Teresa. That's my opinion, and it's yours. So all the way around, y'all, whenever we cover criminal cases, and specifically this trial coming up of Chad Daybell, he doesn't want to face the consequences. He thinks he can wiggle his way out of it. And we've seen it time and time again, y'all. These people want to roll the dice when they're obviously guilty. They don't want to accept their part in it. And we're talking about defendants in criminal cases. But what about all the other people that are involved in these cases? Witnesses, per se. Well, these witnesses have to go on the stand, whether they're with the state or the defense. Their part in all of anything. There's consequences to that. I mean, a real consequence is having to go on the stand like Melanie Gibb or Zulema and having to face whatever they're facing, which they didn't face much, being a state's witness in Lori's trial. But they still, y'all know, it's had to have been embarrassing for them. But they, forget the embarrassment. They need their asses stomped, right? That's not ever going to happen. But again, these witnesses and all of that, let's just kind of look at that. Since this is a Friday and I'm a little bit trying to be a little bit disciplined. Y'all remember Carmen Lauber? Y'all know who Carmen Lauber is? Carmen Lauber is the state's star witness in the Corey Richins saga here. Carmen Lauber is the connection, y'all. The absolute connection to Corey Richins getting the deadly fentanyl and buying it from her to give to her husband. Now, before I go into this, let me just be clear about where I stand. I believe Eric was probably popping pills. He was doing the marijuana gummies. He was smoking pot, whatever. So, I know Eric Richins' family are saying he never did drugs. I disagree with that, in my opinion. And I believe Corey Richins used that as a way to take his ass out. Okay? I believe she's guilty. I do. But I do not think that it was, she slipped it in his Moscow mule and he was never doing drugs or anything like that. I think she maybe even possibly told him she had it in there and it was she usually got him or what he usually had. But she got the Michael Jackson shit, right? and his ass got taken out by it. It's my view. But this Carmen is very important to the state's case. And some news has just recently come out by the Daily Mail. And I have a few problems with it. But there's an actual letter that Carmen Lauber allegedly wrote the judge in this case. Now, y'all look at that in the backdrop of Corey Richens' walk the dog letter, and Skyla Zero wants to say, we want this case dismissed. They're going to have a hearing on it November the 3rd, where Skyla Zero's saying because the state filed this publicly and not under seal, that it taints the jury pool, that they need to dismiss this case, or if for nothing else, change the venue to another county, right? So you got that out there floating out there. Now you've got Daily Mail saying that the state star witness has absolutely sent the judge in this case a letter, and I'm going to read you the letter, but let me just be clear. How in the hell, if you send a letter to a judge on a criminal case, does Daily Mail get a hold of it? How does that happen? Because it wasn't filed anywhere. So if it's true, then are we saying that the judge in this case somehow gave the letter to the Daily Mail? Or did Carmen Lauber send this letter to the judge and also gave it to Daily Mail? We don't have specificity on that. But I want y'all to hear this letter from the state's witness, who was the one that was getting the drugs for Corey Richens. All right? Judge Mabee, I'm writing you this letter because I need to make a statement, says Carmen Lauber, that if I said this in person during the court date, it could be used against me or used to discredit me by Corey Richens' attorney. And I'm also afraid it would get leaked to the media and my personal life would be put in the news. Okay, so there you go. So according so far to this state's witness is saying, I'm giving this to you, Judge. I'm not sharing it with the media because I don't want it leaked to the media and my personal life would be put in the news. So you have to wonder, is that option of her sending it to Daily Mail or not? It involves my mental health, my physical health, and my state of being. As you know, I have been 100% compliant with everything that has been asked of me by Summit and Wasatch counties. I check in every time I've been asked. I've cooperated as much as I can with investigators and had to cut people very close to me out of my life. You have asked that I have no contact with either one of my daughters. This means I cannot see my grandchildren. I have missed football seasons with my grandsons, birthday parties, and even a baby shower for my daughter. I've missed many meaningful weekends with those who are most important to me. Even Nick Bonsavage, who has been a supporting and uplifting person in my life, all so I can show that I am willing to cooperate 100%. I've been court ordered into isolation, and it's really starting to hurt me in ways I haven't felt before. I have never felt so alone, depressed, and hopeless. I'm continuing to see my therapist and doing everything I can, but it doesn't seem to help the fact that I cannot see my family and close friends, and it's really hurting me. I have not used drugs and have stayed true to myself, but I cannot help some days just wanting to give up. It's getting tough, and I'm having thoughts that endanger my sobriety, long-term goals, and everything that I've worked for. I'm not sure why these restrictions are in place. If it is for my safety, it's doing the opposite. This last week, I was hospitalized after losing consciousness and falling on the floor and breaking my nose. I had dangerously low blood pressure, and I now have several doctor's appointments to try and figure out what's wrong. I hurt deeply inside because of the situation. My work found out and put me on administrative leave without pay. I've had to fight to keep a job I've had for 10 years. So many things are squeezing me, and I cannot get any support from the people that can support me. My family is hurting, and so am I. My anxiety is constantly through the roof, and a lot of it is because I fear the unknown of what's going to happen to me. Please let me see my family. I miss my grandkids so much, and seeing them would make a difference in my life that no therapy could ever do. The holidays are coming up, and it kills me to think I'll not get to see them. One of my daughters are fully terminated from probation, and the other is getting terminated early. Nick applied to and was accepted at the University of Utah and is doing really good. I'm asking that you please reconsider these restrictions on my family and friends. It really scares me to testify against Corey Richens, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. But I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to cooperate fully and show you that I'm going to do what I'm asked of me. If I am feeling like this, I might crumble on the witness stand. If I was able to be surrounded by those who support me throughout the process, it would really make this so much more easier. Please consider the restrictions on my family and friends, or at least clearly tell me what has to be done so that I can see my family by the holidays. Thank you, Carmen Lauber. Now, folks, I think Carmen Lauber needs to take a real good hard look at where she's at. She could be sitting in a jail cell right now with her rap sheet. She is on an ankle monitor. She is getting therapy. She was told not to be around her two daughters because her two daughters were on probation for criminal activity. Although Carmen says one of her daughters is off probation now and the other one is nearing getting off probation, and that this other guy, Nick, has decided to go to college. Maybe, just maybe, because Carmen Lauber isn't around them, that maybe they're cleaning up their damn life. And Carmen Lauber is sitting here, whether we find out whether this was sent to the judge and somehow got out, whether she never sent it to the judge and it got out through Daily Mail, whatever the reason, this shakes this case up, and that you've got a star witness who can help show the connection of Corey Richens buying the lethal fentanyl. Basically, in my view, dangling this out here that if you don't let me see my family and friends, I might not be able to do what needs to be done to do the right thing, to tell the truth about Corey Richens. Let's not forget, y'all, this woman, she's got a drug rap sheet. She belongs in jail. And folks, I'm not cold and callous. on some of the facts that she seems to think that she's depressed, she's got anxiety, she broke her nose because she had low blood pressure and all that thing. What the hell? What the hell did she expect? She's the one that purchased the lethal fentanyl for Corey Richins to give to Corey Richins. She's the one that is so used to buying the freaking pills for people. She's the one that helps the go-between. What did she expect? I'll tell you what she should be saying to herself. Damn, I'm not sitting in a jail cell. I've got an opportunity to right the wrongs of what I've been doing all this time. Getting lethal street grade fentanyl for people. And she wants to talk about, I'm so depressed and this is really bothering my sobriety. Well, woman, I'll tell you what. You didn't have a problem, Carmen, with doing whatever you were doing before you got sober. And the only reason she got sober was because the state said you want to sit in a jail cell. It's a damn shame that any state has to make a deal with the devil like the state of Idaho had to do with Melanie Gibb and Sue Lima and David Warwick and the rest of them. We are getting to the point, y'all, whether you want to say, okay, let's frame this as, are these states' witnesses, are they credible? Are they not credible? Y'all, these state witnesses, in order to take these evil, diabolical people down, you're having to rely on people like this. And don't get me wrong, y'all. It can't all be that the state of any criminal case has all these lily white, great, wonderful witnesses. I get it. Sometimes you have to get a jailhouse snitch. Yada, yada, yada. What I am trying to bring out, and my point is this damn woman, it's all about her. She ain't stopping to think what she's helped with. Of course, y'all. She probably, I believe it, she probably didn't know Corey Richins was going to murder Eric. But every damn time one of these son of a bitches or these women out here want to dang get straight grade fentanyl for other people, they want to wash their hands of it when that person is killed, overdoses. They need to create laws all over the country and the world that if you are involved in a drug transaction and that person ODs, you should be charged with a crime. And a lot of states are starting to do that. KKB, we're talking about Corey Richins' friend there, Carmen. Carmen Lauber sent a letter to the judge, allegedly. It's in the Daily Mail. Talking about, y'all put these restrictions on me, and I want to see my friends and family, and I'm having all this anxiety, and I'm scared to testify against Corey Richins. I'm so afraid that I'm going to crumble on the stand. And yet she also includes that she's seeing a therapist. Well, I guess the question is if she wasn't involved in any of this, what would she be doing today? I would venture to say she would continue to get pills or drugs for other people. She sure as hell wouldn't be in therapy. She sure as hell wouldn't give a rat's ass that both of her daughters were in legal trouble criminally and had to be put on probation. Okay, that's a clarification, Kathy Mama Bear. The court released the documents because they are associated with Carmen's case. So Carmen's case and not Corey Richens' case, right? Okay, that makes sense because I was scanning through that whole thing and I thought, well, this is an exclusive from Daily Mail. They don't say it. They don't say in there how they got a hold of it or anything. Eric Jasper says they do in Ohio, and it ain't good if you're on the receiving end of those new laws as an offender in terms of getting pills or drugs for other people when they end up dying from them. What makes it so bad is the majority have multiple convictions already and wouldn't stop selling, says Eric. So, what is the good news? Eric just shared it with us. At this moment, anyway, Carmen Lauber, who is a drug dealer or a go-between anyway, I consider her a drug dealer. She is being forced to be sober. She's seeing a therapist. She's away from her daughters, which her daughters really need to be away from her. This Nick guy, I don't know who that is. I'm sure probably Kathy Mama Bear knows more about the case. The bottom line is all these people that are associated to Carmen seem to be trying to clean their acts up. And Carmen wants to wave this out here that basically, y'all, I can't see it any other way. She wants to ask the judge to do this to loosen the restrictions that actually are helping her. It's not helping her because she's having anxiety or that she has a medical condition. What's that cause from? It's her drug use. She's D10. She doesn't like it that she's having to stay sober. And if anyone thinks her being around her grandchildren or her daughters or this Nick is going to help the situation, some of y'all know this. I've read it and researched it. The bottom line is if you're trying to stay away from the drugs, you got to be away from those familiar surroundings. Whether those people are helping you get the drugs or not, you've got to be put out of the situation. And she better be damn glad that she has an ankle bracelet on and not sitting her little happy ass in a jail cell. Because that's where she really needs to be. She is a convicted drug dealer and they found more drugs for sale in her house. Hence the latest arrest and possible deal to help with Corey's case. Thank you, Kathy Mama Bear. So this woman, y'all, don't get me wrong. I have sympathy for anyone that's got an addiction to anything. But there are consequences for all of that. And ultimately, it all starts with that initial choice. It's that initial choice. I'm going to try this pill. I'm going to try this drug. I'm going to try this drink. I'm going to try this whatever that you get addicted to. I'm going to go out here and have some fun in Las Vegas. I've never gambled before. This is going to be a lot of fun. And then a person ends up, not everyone, but some people end up having a gambling addiction or a sexual addiction or an eating addiction or whatever the hell. There are consequences. And y'all, I'm not up on no damn pedestal about it. I've had shit in my life that I've had to deal with, consequence-wise. I'm still having to deal with the consequences of a lot of decisions that I've made. So I understand her wanting to be around people that she loves and all that, but who actually did she feel inside of her the love as she was going to these other drug dealers to get the drugs for these people that knew her? What kind of love was she feeling now that she's expressing it now to a judge, through a letter, that she loves her grandkids, if she loves anybody, right? Good morning, Melissa Krantz. Happy Friday the 13th, which, by the way, y'all, it's Friday the 13th. For all you suspicious people out there, KJ's going to set the record straight on my opinion. And that is if I walk under a ladder, if I break a mirror, if a black cat crosses my path, so be it. I don't give a rat's ass. I can go through my day, and if I'm superstitious, which I'm not, which I just basically let y'all know, if I was, and I did walk under a ladder or whatever the hell the suspicion is, all I have to do is focus in on any negativity of the day to say, yep, that's proof. I'm having bad luck. Y'all, life is not 100% positive and good luck throughout any day. You can go to bed at night and say, I haven't had a single thing go wrong today. What does that mean? Is it because maybe you didn't see the negative shit, but you chose not to? It don't take a Friday the 13th for me to have a bad day. It don't take me breaking a mirror and get what people call 7 years of bad luck or whatever. It don't take none of that. All I have to do is get up with a shitty ass attitude and start looking at all the negative things going on instead of seeing the positive. That's just me. Olive says, well, I was born Friday the 13th. How do you think I feel? Well, Olive, I'll tell you what. You're a blessing. Does that sound like any bad luck? I don't think so. A black cat walks across my path and wraps himself around my leg every day. Nothing negative about it until he trips me. I love that. I absolutely love that. Michelle Flanagan says, I love black cats. See? We've got diverse thought processes going on all over the damn place. I don't believe in bad luck. I don't believe in good luck. I don't believe crossing your fingers hoping for the best. I don't believe in any of that. I believe there are blessings and there are devastations. Kathy Barilla says, I have a black cat. Melissa Krantz says, we have a black cat. So, y'all, if anybody I just want to know, does anyone here think that the judge will loosen the restrictions on Carmen Lauber? Because I'll tell you what I think. I think whatever the restrictions are at this moment, whether she's having the fallout of her consequences or not, is the best thing for her at this point. What message does this send to Corey Richens' defense attorney? I would say Sky Lazaro is probably looking at this and saying, well, I could file a motion saying, look, Judge, not only did the state publish publicly in the file my client's walk the dog letter, but now we've got another one of the state's witnesses. Look, nothing is being secured for due process for my client. Oh, is that true, Kathy? That the judge filed the letter but did not read it? And that was in Carmen's case, not in the Corey Richens case. Is that what you're saying? Adrian, I saw your comment on a black lamp that was above my desk. Honey, I don't know what you're talking about. I went and I looked behind me on the... If you're talking about when I was in my living room, are you talking about the ceiling fan? Are you talking about something that's right there by me? Because I don't know what you're talking about, honey, or I would have responded to that. In Carmen's case. Okay, Kathy Mama Bear. Jill Schneider thinks that the judge would go lenient on Carmen Lauber. I think the judge should probably Keep those restrictions in place, y'all. I just think that's the best thing because she's saying that she's doing everything she's supposed to be doing, that she's going to therapy. Yes, she's had some health problems, y'all, but those are her own problems. If you cut yourself off from the kind of life she was living that got her into all this kind of trouble, what the hell does she expect? Everything's going to be just perfect? Well, Beach Lady, you had to go and do it. You had to tell OKJ and everyone on this live stream that you got Coca-Cola cake in the oven. Now, why would you want to do that to me without sharing a slice of that Coca-Cola cake with me? Huh? Am I going to have to shoot a short vid about you, Beach Lady, like I did Fancy Nancy on her eating a cinnamon roll? Am I going to have to do that? Am I going to have to go up to Cracker Barrel Old Country Restaurant up here and get a slice of Coca-Cola cake because I don't know how to make it? And I ain't going to make it, y'all. I know there's recipes out there, but I'll go get one and I'll shoot a short video, Beach Lady, and I'll eat it right there and I'll say, Cracker Barrel's Coca-Cola cake is just as good as Beach Lady's. Donna Donald says, I want some fruitcake cookies with dates. Well, Donna Donald, my mother made fruitcake cookies every Christmas. She had the best fruitcake cookies that you could ever eat. I never liked fruitcake, but I loved her fruitcake cookies. They were good. And I'm never going to have them again from her. But I do have the recipe. And maybe, just maybe this Christmas, OKJ will shoot one of her cooking videos. Who knows? Yeah, Eric Jasper. Every time Cracker Barrel makes something good, they take it off their damn menu. You're talking about the carrot cake that they used to make. It's good. Oh, I will, Donna Donald. I will. I will, Kathy Barella. Leave it to Coffee with KJ and all you beautiful, wonderful, loving people to always change the subject either to food or to something other than this crazy ass shit that I cover. My point in all of it all, y'all, is these witnesses, whether they're for the state or for the defense, unless they're law enforcement or, even if you want to look at Timothy Ferriter's defense expert there, y'all. They talked about that she saw no malice. What was her name? Dr. Rapa, is that her name? Said she saw no malice in what Timothy Ferriter and his wife was doing to that child, putting him in a box. Give me a break. Which brings me to John Pryor's endless experts. What are they going to say? Who are they? Are they reputable? Give me a break. Donna Donald said, I did watch the closing arguments on The Boy in the Box. Both parents are monsters. Y'all, we're going to find out November 3rd how all this is going to pan out for Corey Richins' defense team there. I've looked online, and y'all can as well, but I've looked. And a lot of legal experts says this is such a serious case that they don't see that this case is going to get dismissed over any of that the state did. Really, it comes down to what the jail did, and the jail had every right to do what they were doing. The Journey to Justice says, I was watching The Boy in the Box. I think they thought they would get away with this. Yeah, well, y'all, the bottom line is that Lori got convicted and she's spending life in prison. Chad Daybell, we're still up in the air on whether he'll get the death penalty, even though it is a death penalty case, or whether that will be taken off the table. We do know and we can be assured that a lot of the state's witnesses of Lori's trial will be in Chad's trial, but there should be others as well. And let's obviously not forget, John Pryor is going to put on a rigorous defense, whatever that may look like. We'll find out. I cannot see that Timothy Ferriter's wife is going to go on trial. I think she will try to do a plea agreement. I think she's going to wait till after she sees what the judge is going to do in sentencing on Timothy Ferriter, and she's going to weigh her damn options. But you know what? I will say this as I look at you. Mrs. Ferriter there is going to spend jail time. She's going to have jail time, y'all. Pure and simple. Either way it goes, whether she makes a plea agreement or she goes to trial. Either way it goes, she's going to do jail time just like her husband. And I'll tell you something. This judge in Timothy Ferriter's case, I really believe, I sensed it, and I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. He was disgusted during the trial when they were playing that little boy screaming and crying and talking to himself. He was absolutely disgusted, y'all. And I think he's not going to go easy on Timothy Ferriter. But I don't think he's going to give him the max. I don't think he'll give him any more than 10 years. And my theory is 4 to 7 years. And it wouldn't surprise me if the judge in his sentencing says, you subjected this child for all these years. You should at least sit in a jail cell for all these years. It's a good theory, y'all. And Gibson wants to know, Donna, have you fitted that pole, put the pole up yet for the pole dance? Don't you think your girlfriend is hot like me? Don't ya, Donna? Donna Donald. Don't worry, honey. If you can't do the dance, OKJ will do it first. But I'll do it in my time. I'm just waiting on you, though, to see since you brought it up. But we'll just see what happens, huh? We'll see what happens. Evangeline Light says, I thought the 1-3-second response of Tim when the judge said he was going to jail today was worth the whole trial. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the defense, they wanted old Timothy there to be able to stay out, go home, until they sentenced him. But the judge, I do believe, he's gonna lay the hammer down. Timothy Ferriter is definitely not going to get 2 years and 5 years of probation, which was offered to him in a plea agreement. He wanted to roll the dice. He wanted to line everything up that what he did was okay. Well, now he can face the consequences. Defendants have to face consequences. State's witnesses have to face the consequences. Defense witnesses have to face consequences. In the judicial process, there's always consequences inside the environment of justice being served. Either way it goes. See you later, Kathy Mama Bear. Donna Donald says, Sunday night premiere, difficult research, trying not to break the internet. Well, there you go. That'd be cool. So I hope all of y'all have a great weekend. Because he would have to proffer against his wife, so he turned the deal down. Olive, I don't know. I mean, if you say that, I believe it. Y'all usually got good information. But I'll tell you this, Olive. He is SOL. And that means shit out of luck. You mess with shit, you get it all over you. That's what all these criminal cases look like to me. These people, they do what they do, and then they don't want to face any consequences. What did Wayne say about rolling the dice, says JoJo. Are you talking about Timothy Ferritter? He doesn't really get into all the criminal cases. The only one he really even is concerned about or asks about is the Chad and Lori Daybell case. He loves Larry, Kay, Kresha, Jason, and all them. Wayne and I have met them, and they're like family to us. They're our Louisiana family. So Wayne, my husband, if that's what you're asking, he doesn't know really anything about the Boy in the Box trial in case. Oh, is that true, Olive? Because I didn't know that. Yes, his defense was interviewed. Okay. All right, I'll have to check that out, Olive. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day within reason. But y'all be good or be good at it. Have a great weekend. If something comes up, I'm liable to open up a live stream. What is it, all rays on deck, baby? Perhaps. It depends. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care and keep on looking.